What a joy today brings to us all as we share in the love of these two come to be joined together. We thank God for that. They thank God for it too. It shows in their faces, it shows in their preparation, it shows in what they've shared, in what they bring to us today. There's expectancy and there's opportunities. There's reminders for us that are married, and perhaps even recommitments. Weddings remind us of the time when we stood and made such promises before God. And in a sense we recommit ourselves. For some, those marriages may not have lasted. For some, those wounds may take a long time to heal. But there is here today a mixture of teeming emotions, for peace and fulfilment, for joys, hurts, heights and depths. There's a fine thread of success and failure, like a radio. So different to when it's in tune, to when it's just off tune, howling and whistling. Our lives are like that sometimes. Your life is going to be like this sometimes. Today is happy and blessed. There will be times when it is harder than you dare even believe at this moment. You know that I work a lot in France, and two of the things that I've discovered in going to France is that the French are masters of both champagne and perfume. I brought some with me today. A bottle of Moet and a bottle of Chanel. Unfortunately, you need many glasses of the Chanel champagne, many bottles to fill a glass. And I understand that the ladies found that this fizzy perfume tickled their ears when they used it. It's important that the master of anything is the master of what he's doing and not trying to do something else. And you two have chosen well in following the Lord in your marriage, because he does know what he's doing in making and restoring, in creating and healing and building relationships between man and woman, boys and girls, and himself. You've come to be one. Your oneness will be forged in your commitment to God and in your commitment to one another. God's love does not change. No matter how splendidly we're dressed or how we've arrived, God's love does not change towards us. Ruth, you're the star here. But God's love hasn't changed to you since you got up with your curlers in this morning. And I tell you that because I want you to be confident of the constancy of God's love for you. I want you to be confident of the constancy of God's love when you are out of sorts with this handsome man you have been. When even God's displeasure with him equals yours. I want you, confident of the constant love that God has for you, to choose to love him, even in situations like that. And to choose to go on loving with the love that Christ has shown you. Mark, I charge you to love Ruth in the same way and place on you the responsibility to build her in Christ, fulfilling her with the love that Christ has shown you, a constant love, a patient love, a sacrificial love, a love in which self is willing to die. And I've got a story for you both that I want you to remember all your days together. There was a man struggling through a desert, ran out of provisions and water, and he was on his hands and knees, and then he saw a well with a pump. It wasn't a mirage, it was a well, and when he arrived at it he found a note tied on the handle, and the note said, "Under the white rock over there I have placed a bottle full of water. Cork up. Take the bottle. Don't drink the water. Pour the water into the pump, about a third of the bottle into the pump, and wait 30 seconds. for the washer to soak the water up. And then pour the rest of the water in and pump like crazy. This well has never run dry. Kind regards, Desert Pete. So he arrived. He's got the water of his life in his hands, and he's been asked to pour it out so that he may have refreshment and water for his whole life. Can you imagine it? What would you do? Would you do that? There are 3 challenges in this story for you. There's a challenge which is in your Christian and your married life. There's a challenge to faith, trust and commitment to God and to each other. There's a challenge to pour out your life to God and to one another. And there's the challenge to work hard, because your marriage will be founded on the love which God has for you and the place you hold him in your life. But you need to work at it, and you need to work at the relationship with him. You have the Master's touch. Work with him to fully shape your life. You can never honour the promises you make today if it wasn't for the strength and power deep within you that God is giving you and will give you in the years to come. Remember his constant love to you, as bright as it is this day. The Lord bless you, equip you and enable you to share his love beyond yourselves. Amen.